Imagine having a vampire in the family and you can actually trace him back to 1793 in Hungary. So I received an email from one of my followers named Reka, and this story is about a uncle of hers, and her email went as such. She said, "Hi Michael, I've been going back and forth on whether to even send this or not because I know how it may sound, but I saw one of your videos about strange family stories and, well, I guess this one is mine. My name is Reka, and my family originally is from Hungary, and one thing that we've always held on to is our family records. We can trace our family line back to 1793 in a small village that isn't really well known today. There's one story that gets told every few years, usually after a few drinks and on holidays, and everyone kind of laughs it off, but no one ever fully dismisses it either. I remember hearing it all the time when I was a kid. It's about one of my ancestors. Technically, he's like a great uncle of mine. His name was Andreas, and from what's written, he was completely healthy, worked the land, and nothing really unusual about him. But one summer, a woman came through the village, and no one really knew who she was, which was already strange for a place that small during that time period. Supposedly, she said she was from an area that was just outside of Romania, and she was traveling alone, but no one really knew. The journals don't describe her that much, but which is weird in itself, but just that people avoided her, except my uncle Andreas. He didn't. He met her, he spoke with her, and within a week, he became violently ill. And not like, like a normal sickness either. It was, the entries say that he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't go out during the day, and he complained about the light hurting his eyes. And then he passed away not long after. They buried him in the family plot, and that should have been the end of it. However, a few years later, when another family member passed and they went to bury her, they had to reopen that part of the plot again. And my uncle Andreas's coffin had been disturbed. And it wasn't broken open, it was just opened, and it was opened very carefully. And when they looked inside, there was nothing in there. No body, no bones, nothing. Just an empty casket. Now, according to the journals, they checked everything. There was no sign of grave robbing and nothing anywhere else. There was no damage, no explanation. It was like he had literally just gotten up and walked out. After that, the tone in the entries kind of changed. Less detail, more avoidance, but there are mentions scattered over the years of people claiming that they saw a man who looked like my uncle Andreas on the edge of the fields or near the tree line at dusk, and he was never alone and always with a woman. The same woman that they believed is the one that got him sick. Now, it turns into more of a whispered thing after that. Not much has been written, just passed down. My grandmother swore that her own grandmother claimed to have seen them once, standing far off and just watching the house late at night. I know how this may sound, I really do. There's no proof of this, just old writings and stories that probably should have faded out generations ago. But the reason I'm even telling you this now is because last year, when I went and visited Hungary, I went with my family and we went to where the old house used to be. And on the last night, where we were is where they were, and I swear I saw two figures standing past the tree line, a man and a woman, just watching the house. I didn't tell anyone at the time because I didn't want to sound crazy, but after everything I grew up hearing, I can't really explain it any way else other than that. I don't know how or what exactly happened back in 1793. Maybe it was just a coincidence, maybe it was something else entirely. But sometimes I can't help but wonder, what if that story isn't just a story? Anyway, I'm sorry that this is so long. You can share it if you want or not. I just needed to get it out of my head. Tell me what you think. Was her uncle a vampire?